make sure he gets into the grand finals, and he thinks this is going to be it. But he probably has to plug in his controller. That would be a great start.
This is the most intimidating neutral we've ever seen. He's just staring at him. Look at him.
We in it? No, that's this bot movement. Wait, nope. He's checking it. All right. Little skeleton song. Shoutouts to SAC again, like respectful, because like Sparky and I, if this was a tournament set, we'd go in there, we get that stock.
Yo, facts. Also, I mean, look, like you said, he's a jester. He's starting off the game with a joke. Well, we're actually going to go right into it. So after whatever's going on there, we are here. And also, like you pointed out, I was wondering why you're making that face beforehand. I was like, was that to me saying stay in school? It's like,
yeah,
no,
absolutely.
No, gaming, bro. Only gaming. Well, right now he's on his real gamer hours as he's brought out the greatsword here to try and solve the Asuris.
Yeah, you don't need education if you got that gamer bread, but right now Yu's going in with the Jaeyun, doesn't get the follow-up off the neutral light.
So far this weekend you have shut me down when I said drink more water and shut me down for school. And then right now that first stock got shut down by SAC immediately, just not caring too much so far about this Yu's counterpick.
Yeah, he is nonplussed about it. Yu's, I mean, that's one thing that's kind of rough for Yu's is like, Jaeyun's not a thing that generally you can kind of just pick up and play. Like, he's something that you kind of have to warm up a little bit, and so far, it's taken him a hot minute to warm up into this Jaeyun. Needs to finish this stock, doesn't get the read on that dodge.
Yeah, and of course, you got those slight increase on knockbacks now to those breakers to be able to try and get some early KOs, but the thing is you actually have to hit him first. And the movement from SAC has just been too good that none of those enders are actually going to matter too much. However, he does answer back with the simplicity of that recovery as we get an even game.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for Yu's and the greatsword in general, right, is like you still have to get that dodge read. It's not a true combo to go into those neutral finishers. Even though they've got that buff, you still have to get into a situation where you can go for it.
And Yu's is... he's going for a lot of just straight up dares, just like kind of poking around, trying to get SAC because he's jumping. But that's the thing is, I'd much rather put you in a position like that so I can get that stock, because I will gladly take you hitting me with a dare because I'm jumping a ton than any of your satellite starters. That's perfectly fine with me.
I mean, against a greatsword, would much rather get bounced around a little bit than get caught up in that blender that greatswords can have. Right now, it's just the standard sword coming out from Yu's. It's working a little bit better for him, but he's still playing from behind. Needs a little bit more damage before he can think about that recovery KO tool.
Yeah, so far, it seems like the answer is the sword, but he does throw the sword away. I feel like the sword is pretty much what a majority of his damage has come from this game. And what was the first game KO? First KO of the game. I can't English, but I feel like at this point you do just need to get it warmed up. You said it before, you can't just jump into Jaeyun after not playing him all day. You need to get it warmed up, so the greatsword must find the answer.
Well, that was quick coming in, got that dash jump down air in there. Coming out from Yu's, looks like he's starting to warm up a little bit. We haven't seen too much of the signature kit come out from the Jaeyuns. I mean, that's one thing that like the later Jaeyuns, like after it was the big Jaeyun meta, the later ones started going into that end sig in particular, but won't even matter as, still got the wall touch.
A good evasion right there. It keeps the game going for at least a little bit longer. Will it be enough to finish it out? Of course, you have to watch out for D-Light recovery pretty much now, but the neutral lights won't be enough just yet.
Still got the wall touch, the neutral light, they'll add up still. It's damage, it's force. Yu's might get another wall touch, he might get back onto the stage, but he cannot afford a recovery.
Oh, wait a minute. Yu's got an opener, and now things are starting to look a little bit good. And he, wait a minute, hold up, we're in an even game all of a sudden.
And he's got the advantage, he's got the control, he's got the weapons. Not gonna back up for the greatsword, doesn't punish the pickup though. SAC has the stage, but it won't matter as a downlight recovery gives Yu's the steal.
The bravery to just land right in front of SAC and say, I'll be all right. At the very end, just position himself right on the edge where SAC could absolutely have made an attempt to try and close that out, but knew full well that he was fine. Look at this, watch this. Slow fall. Oh, that's fine. You were facing towards the left. You probably aren't ready for me right now. That was an beautiful last stock. Like, there's no real other way to put it. The greatsword showed up right when he needed it.
Yeah, his greatsword really came alive in that final stock. And like you said, that final moment there, that was such a huge call out coming out from Yu's to just land on top of Guitars. It's Guitars. They excel on being stacked up. They have fast startups. And Yu's is like, I'm just going to land here and do a downlight right on top of you, and it's going to lead to a KO, and I'm going to get this game.
Yeah, sometimes it's that last situation where you're like, they're going to panic, right? Because they're the one falling. Nope. And that bodes well, in my view, for what Yuz might do now for the rest of the set.
But SAC is back at it. He's got the Katars in hand. He's already starting to add up this damage, but he had a big lead on Yuz in the last one, and Yuz still managed to bring it back.
Very true. I think that's going to be lingering in the back of your head a ton. And also, Yuz is starting to get more D-like nairs as well. Now, Dare nairs, not just only getting a poke and then drifting away. This is a bad time for SAC if the greatsword continues to warm up like this.
Yeah, it's just getting more and more extension. Good spot dodge, avoids that jump Sair from SAC. Sword v sword. Yuz has the stage control. Goes low. Doesn't find the hits, though.
Wow. Just like no fear whatsoever. It's going straight for it. And not going to be enough just yet. But one more of those might do the trick here on the Brawlhalla. That will be enough, though, as he finally gets the answer. Yeah,
even if that didn't shove him into the KO box, like you saw the stars come out, that was a stuffed recovery from Yuz. I don't think he had the movement to come back regardless.
Yeah, there was no shot. And right now, he at least got him high enough already that the revenge KO was coming pretty soon.
Yep, and of course, he's going to be sticking with the greatsword. Fantastic damage build opportunity, especially with the way that he's been picking up these reads on the SAC.
Yeah, the flat stage here, too. Nowhere to hide on any platforms here on Small Brawlhalla, so it's on SAC's defense alone to try and get around any of those dodge reads. And Yuz chasing, going after him right now. It's starting to pick up a ton. I do like the fact that SAC's kind of minimized some of it, though.
I'm so fascinated with the routes that Yuz is going for, right? Like, he's gone for neutral light, neutral finisher a bunch of times, which is so weird because usually, like, greatsword players are looking for the three-piece whenever they can get it, but instead Yuz is saying he'll take two and then he'll go for the recovery chase. You're seeing him chase SAC right now. He's also gone for this sideline into a jump down air, which has caught SAC a couple of times as well.
Big agree. Like, it's kind of tripping him up a ton. This is another very even game, and also SAC doing the same things. Like, look, I'm going to chase you off the bottom as well. Doesn't find his hit, though. I don't think, even with this KO, that it matters too much in terms of lead, because I think SAC's going to just get this knockout right back.
Yeah, could see a repeat of the first stocks where this time it's SAC who goes in, down light, gravity cancel, neutral heavy, yeah. And that's going to
shake your hand on that one. Hold up.
Yeah,
it was on its way. It's like anything you could do, I could do better.
But now it's over to the regular sword from Yuz, the Katars from SAC. SAC, again, he's been so good at building up that damage with the Katars.
Another stuff recovery right there. Yuz trying to get back down. Weapon toss out of the way to at least get something started. But it's from what was game one at the very beginning, the sword kind of being the game plan. Now it's just purely the greatsword show. And to be honest, I think that is the correct answer.
Yeah, can't really blame him for wanting it. And there's again that dare read catches SAC off guard as he tries to dodge in on top of him.
They are throwing hands right now. There was a lot of scrapping at multiple times. Yuz was able to walk away with a jump dare, which has kind of been his best scramble option so far against the Katars.
It makes a lot of sense, right? Because once you get caught into those greatsword strings, usually you're either trying to dodge diagonally out or diagonally in, and when you have Katars, you're more inclined to want to stack up. So it's really just like a solid read coming out from Yuz, and it's working to great effect right now. He needs that downlight recovery, though.
Ooh, yeah, you're 100% right on that. Basically, it's on SAC to try and bait it out, but he lands right in front of him to give him that D-light recovery on cue, and that puts him up 2-0 in the lead. And it seems like maybe, just maybe, he might finally have that solution he needed to the Asuris.
Yeah, Yuz looking so good with the Jaehyun, his great sword, having those big hitboxes, really outspacing the Katars, and then he's got that consistent KO tool with the sword. I can't fault him for sticking with the Jaehyun.
Yeah, and another incredibly close game, a 10 damage differential. That's it. These have been as close to the wire as you can ask, and kind of just sitting comfortably, waiting to find out which one of these two is going to be joining him on a flight over here. And so far, being 2 up, you got to be feeling good about it.
Yeah, Yuz is definitely looking to get his spot into the grand finals, taking this opportunity against SAC as practice against another Asuri. Landing dares, doesn't go for more there. Again, that dare read.
I like it. He's going for the recovery extensions as well now, too. It's worked quite a few times, so might as well keep going for it. And uses I mean, again, even though the dare may seem like a simple poke, it's enough to check him so far. And SAC hasn't had a super solution, but he's getting way more now out of these straight hits off a sword.
Yeah, he's definitely sticking a little bit more into the sword, right? Like, you saw that weapon spawn in the middle, and SAC's like, no, I want this sword. Not only because you're in that damage percent where I can look for those KOs, but also because it just gives me a little bit more boxing potential against your great sword, and the downlight recovery will give SAC that stock advantage.
It's somewhere in this building, Remy is smiling because Qatar's figured out, question mark. It seems to be the solution at the moment. But that's a borrow time stock we got right here. So, of course, you want that extra credit. You want to build it up. And that is absolutely not how it's going to happen, as that whole skull got just caved in by that greatsword.
Bro, I love when people do that. It's like the Indiana Jones thing where the guy's like swinging a sword around and he just pulls out a gun and shoots him. Like, that's what Hughes just did. He's like, okay, you can do all this dash dancing, but I'm just going to raw side sig you and get this stock.
Oh my god, it's the most extreme bonk on the head you could have ever not wanted to happen. But here we go again. Hughes is just constantly finding his openers, and I like how he's shifting it up now. Now he's starting to go for his rounded options, and it's working. He's got really good mix-up between both.
Yeah, you're seeing him just catch SAC consistently. He gets to stay grounded against SAC with the options that he's going for, so SAC goes high, and he just resets.
Yeah, and SAC once again completely ignoring that weapon, just refusing to pick it up. At this point, this is a one weapon show, and is the sword, which is still keeping the game even because the Guitars were not getting anything going.
Yo, but Hughes now has that damage. He can look for that dare and nair. You're seeing him poke a lot with those dares, but SAC catches the movement, gets the recovery, and he's likely going to be going back to the sword. No, he wants the Guitars. It's an early stock.
Yeah, I guess getting access for 1A, that double neutralite. B, he's at that damage window where once he gets knocked out, he will get access to that sword next. He's already done the switch up, so very smart, because even though that got the KO, go with what's been working so far throughout this game.
Well, this is now final stocks here. SAC over to the
Guitars that were primed. My mistake. Yeah. I thought the sword was primed next, so very, very dangerous situation here because SAC is in that spot where he is forced to run at greatsword head on, being behind 2 games. That is only going to allow you to go for big reads.
I mean, he's got to land first. He's getting these hits. These trade outs are still kind of effective for Hughes because, I mean, again, Qatar's the single hit damage is not the best for them.
Right here is just to overwhelm and overcome at this point. If he can get it done, SAC double jumping over, just trying to find a dare opener at any point.
Nice.
There we go, neutralites.
Good jump over the side sig, but still SAC finding hits. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Ooh,
He's
no.
disarmed.
Weapon toss up and bounces him off the weapon. Uses field himself at the moment, and that's going to be it right there as we see the 3-0 come in from Hughes, taking out one of the 2 series that was still reigning terror in this bracket. And this should absolutely be what he uses to go into this matchup against Kaina.
Bro, what's with all these one-weapon Andys? 526 damage on the greatsword. SAC was sticking with the Guitars for 400-plus damage. Like, it's just like the one-weapon meta right now.
I'm going to say that South America looks out for their homies because they saw what happened to Fiend with the hammer and said, no, it's okay. Look, we know you were only using the one, okay? We're also only using one. See, we're all doing it, okay? It wasn't just him. Okay, it's like, well, what's that Adam Sandler movie where it was like, it's cool to pee your pants? It's like, this the same thing.
Billy Madison?
Yes. All right.